Now, it's a multi-million-pound business, but is it just a fad, or could it be seriously good for our health? As the latest must-have gadget, juices are being promoted as an easy way for us to get our 5 a day and counteract some of that processed food. But here in the East Midlands, some people are claiming that juicing fresh fruit and veg can do much more than that and can have real medical benefits. So what's the evidence, and does it stand up to scrutiny? Francis Finn investigates.
Juicing. The fans are evangelical.
I wish I could go back till the time before I had cancer and do all this. Who knows where I would have been if I hadn't have took these steps.
I've had better skin, better eyesight, more energy, and just a greater appetite for life.
While the scientists are sceptical.
There is enormous amounts of confusion about what sort of foods we should be taking and what their benefits are. The evidence is very thin.
Juicing certainly has lots of positives, but I don't think it can ever replace standard treatments that are available for cancer patients.
So is it time for the NHS to look at the evidence? On a farm in Nottinghamshire, Lewis Winter takes a look at his crop.
Well, you can see that the storms we've recently had absolutely battered the brassicas here.
He says he's seeing a rise in the number of people buying his veg, particularly kale, for juicing.
Anything from your super sportsmen and women who want to obviously keep their bodies at peak performance through to the extremely poorly. People with suffering with IBS, people recovering from chemotherapy. They're finding this is a way to get a lot of nutrition, really good nutrition, straight into your system.
Lewis says he's seen a visible change in the health of some of his customers.
The ones who are markedly poorly, somewhat gaunt and wan when they come into our premises, over a matter of only a few weeks, you really do see a difference. If only that their eyes become brighter, their skin becomes cleaner, their hair is shinier. It's quite subtle to start with.
People believe that juicing doesn't just provide you with a health boost, they believe it could also help to save your life. Conall McNellis is from Derby. He was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer, which had spread to his brain.
They referred me to a clinical psychologist, to a hospice, just for some support, and basically to prepare me for what was about to happen. And I thought, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not going out like this. So I went out, bought myself a juicer, just bought loads of organic vegetables, just as much as I could physically drink. And my scans then following coming off the treatment remained clear, which was a bit of a surprise to everyone. And because we didn't know how aggressive the cancer was going to be at first, because they couldn't predict its next move. And so ever since then, following this, my quality of life, my energy levels have gone through the roof. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life, both physically and mentally. And I'm hoping that I've now created a hostile environment for cancer so that cancer cannot exist in my body. Who knows where I would have been if I hadn't have took these steps.
So from being on the books of a hospice, Conall is now in remission. He sticks to a daily regime.
I get up every morning, I have my shot of wheatgrass, I have hot water and lemon, and then I have my juice all before I have breakfast, and that sets me up for the day. And that's basically giving my body everything that it needs, to function. Because your body's an amazing thing. If you just need to give it the tools, and hopefully, touch wood, the cancer can't come back.
So Conall believes that our own bodies have the ability to fight off disease if we give them the right kind of nutrients. Now, is there any science to back this up? Well, I'm hoping to get some answers here.
Nottingham's been at the centre of cancer research for more than 50 years. Now the John Van Geest Centre is leading the way in discovering the role our own immune system plays in fighting cancer. Dr. Stephanie McCardle says one thing it needs to fight disease is antioxidants, and there are plenty of those in some juices.
Antioxidants are extremely needed to counteract free radicals that are caused by either burnt food, by even stress, which is then bad for you. So antioxidants counteract the free radicals.
And so can I get antioxidants if I were to start to juice and eat more fresh fruit and veg?
Yes, fresh fruit and vegetable will give you the antioxidants. I do believe that the research community should look more into the effect of the diet into the immune system, into combating cancer, in combination with conventional therapy.
Juicing fans say that even if you're sceptical about the role it can play in fighting cancer, there are plenty of other health benefits. Chrissy White from Derby is so convinced she set up a business giving advice on juicing and diet.
Oh, my health was terrible. I really had chronic fatigue, although it wasn't really called that in those days. And I didn't know what it was. I was just exhausted all the time.
And so you turned to juicing.
I did turn to juicing, yes, and it changed my life. Quite literally, it made a huge difference.
And for you, you do believe it counteracts the ageing process?
Oh, most definitely. I won't tell you I'm 106, but I am in my late 50s. And I've had better skin, better eyesight, more energy, and just a greater, again, appetite for life since I started to do regular juicing and eat more plant-based foods in their raw state.
There have been some experiments done looking at whether food can act as a kind of medicine for our bodies. So I'm off to London to meet a man who's taken part in a few.
Michael Mosley is a doctor and TV presenter. He's been looking at the effects of drinking beetroot juice.
Beetroot is a really interesting one because it's rich in nitrates, and it turns out that this is really good for example, expanding your arteries and therefore lowering your blood pressure. And there have been lots of studies which show that drinking a glass of beetroot juice will do that. And at the same time, because it's expanding your arteries, it will also increase your ability to do exercise. I think that food is utterly critical to our health, our future, and things like that. The trouble is, there is enormous amounts of confusion about what sort of foods we should be taking and what their benefits are. There is huge confusion in the public, and frankly, there is huge confusion in the medical and nutritional community as well.
Do you think that it is time to look into proper trials of particular diets, nutrient combinations?
I think it is. I mean, when I went to medical school, there was almost nothing on nutrition that we were taught. We were taught about some of the more exotic diseases and the diseases of deprivation, but nothing really about, the balance of food and what it does. So I think there is a very interesting area. The trouble is, it's full of frauds and charlatans. There are enormous amounts of claims made about, I drank berry juice for weeks and my cancer disappeared. The evidence is very thin.
So it does seem as if the NHS is a way off prescribing particular diets instead of pills. Dr. Srinivasan Madhusudan specialises in cancer treatment at Nottingham City Hospital.
Chemotherapy and other treatments are here to stay. As an oncologist, I know that patients who maintain a good nutritional health, they tolerate chemotherapy much better, and their overall outcome is likely to be much better. So juicing certainly has lots of positives, but I don't think it can ever replace standard treatments that are available for cancer patients.
So is it time the NHS got serious about using food as medicine and launched a proper scientific study?
Such trials take a lot of years, enormous amount of work, and huge amount of resources. You're talking about $500 million that is required before an experimental treatment becomes a standard treatment for cancer patients.
But is that not worth it in the long term?
Probably is worth an investment, but we need to make a decision as a society. The Department of Health needs to fund this kind of research, and perhaps in a few years' time, we would be able to recommend these as alternative or add-on treatments to our cancer patients.
So experts haven't ruled out the benefits of juicing as a tool to staying healthy. And if prevention is better than a cure, perhaps it is time to dust off that juicer.